Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Depressing World podcast. I believe this is episode 9. I apologize for the delay between now and the past episode. Just getting into this episode now, just diving straight in the deep end. You should have heard the intro already, or I've screwed up one of the two. But I just didn't get one of these out recently, because I've been having issues with my recording software, because I know that I made a video saying that I was going to make 2 videos a week that were gaming and then the podcast on Saturday, and I know that I failed with the 2 videos a week. I only did 1 video that week, and also I didn't do the podcast on Saturday. And the entire reason is I've been trying to fix the recording software so I can actually record the gaming videos on Monday to Friday, because I've been having some fairly awkward issues where basically for some reason it used to be when I recorded for like half an hour, the file size would be around about 200, 300 megs, at most maybe 600, but generally around the 200, 300 meg mark. Now, I recorded an episode of Dead Rising 3 yesterday because I wanted to do a Dead Rising 3 playthrough. The episode was 20 minutes long. The file size of the completed file was 12 gigabytes. I cannot upload 12 gigabyte files. My internet is simply not fast enough to upload 12 gigabyte files. And sure, I could render and export them, but they'd still come out about 2 gigs, which would literally take me hours to upload. It would take me about 2 or 3 hours to upload a 2 gig file. And the entire time, it completely throttles the rest of my internet. So that's just not going to work. So I need to find a way to record and make the file sizes smaller. I tried doing different formats. I tried doing different bit rates, even though I didn't change the bit rate between me recording. Literally, for some reason, it's just gone from me hitting start recording only being about 300 meg by the time I finished to hitting start recording it being 10 gig. I haven't changed any settings. It's just changed for some reason. And it's very annoying. I really need to try and fix it. It's like I'm recording with Fraps, but I'm not recording with Fraps. I'm recording with OBS, and for some reason the OBS's file sizes have just gone through the roof. And I just can't, upload files that big. It's just not going to work out for me. But anyway, off the topic of recording codecs and crap like that, because I'm sure that that's interesting to almost nobody. Tomorrow is results day for me. Tomorrow I find out if I have a future or not. Right, let me actually, I want to kind of say how I'm feeling, because I think it'd be interesting for me to look back and see not only how I was feeling about getting results, but how I was feeling about getting results the day before. Am I nervous? Not really, because I try to live by this thing, which is basically what's the point in getting worried about things that you can't control? I always tell people that, so I really do try to live by it, because I hate people who give you advice but then don't do it themselves. There's nothing more annoying than somebody who gives you advice, but then when it comes down to it, they don't even follow their own advice. It's like, well, if you don't trust the advice enough for you to do it, and you're looking out for number one, because everybody looks out for number one. So if you're giving me advice but you don't use it yourself, then why the hell should I trust you, and why the hell should I follow your advice? Because it's probably not very good advice, considering how you yourself are too scared to use it. But yeah, so I'm trying to just not be nervous, because I can get into a hysterical panic attack fit, but do you know how much that's going to alter the grade I get tomorrow? 0%. No change at all will occur just because I am anxious or I get upset. Nothing is going to change. What's happened has happened, so there's no point in getting wound up about it, because I can't do anything about it. As far as how I'm feeling a bit mediocre towards it. Right, so I'll lay it out for you. It's not like I'm like, oh, well, I failed everything. I think I've done fine in all the sciences, maths, English, history as well. I reckon I got an A-star in history. I don't see how I couldn't have got an A-star. I'm saying this now, I'm so going to get a D tomorrow in history. I got an A-star on my coursework, and the exam, in my mind, was a piece of piss. I could be, again, completely misjudging, but judging from like when I came out and there was questions on the Vietnam War and some people didn't know. I can't remember what the battle was called now, because it was literally like 2 months ago that I did the exam, but like most people were like, what happened to that battle, blah 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 blah, and I knew what happened, so that should mean that I'm at least 12 marks ahead of everybody else, which gives me the impression that I should get an A-star in the exam. But anyway, I don't want to curse myself. Touch wood. Touching wood right there. My desk is made of wood. So hopefully I will do fine on all those subjects. Geography, I think I will probably get a B in, unfortunately. I think I would have got an A if it was just judged off the exam, but my coursework's going to drag me down because my geography teacher submitted the wrong coursework file. I really like my teacher, but basically what happened is, first of all, I got completely fucked over with my coursework. It was entirely unfair because, right, to give you an idea, I had agreed with the school that I could go on holiday at the end of July, so I would miss the final week and a half of school. And I agreed with that because I had had fairly good attendance for the whole year, so they were like, sure, you can go a week and a half early. It's not like you do much anyway. And I missed a week and a half. So I must have missed about 6 hours there of doing the geography controlled assessment. So I'm immediately 6 hours behind, which is just, it's already a large chunk of time. I then get back. He then stops us early. So I'm about 10 hours behind. And he lets everyone else stay behind, but I have to get the school bus because I have no other way of getting home. So I think I was probably about 10 hours behind nationally, and compared to the rest of my class, I was probably about 20 to 30 hours behind them. So yeah, I got completely fucked when it comes to that one. So I think I probably will get a B in geography, even though, like I said, I think it was if it was based off the coursework, I think I would have. Sorry, if it was based off the exams only, I think I would have got an A. But I got fucked over a little bit. I know I wouldn't have got an A star in geography because one of the questions at the end of the paper I just couldn't fucking answer for the life of me. Because I missed a huge chunk of geography in year 11 for various reasons, and I literally just missed this entire lesson. And I mean, I should have picked it up in revision, but I wasn't as thorough as I probably should have been. So I just couldn't answer. I think it was like an 8-mark question. Rest of the paper I was fine with. It was in the rivers section that I kind of fucked up because I'm not... it's just when you revising on its own is just an incredibly boring thing to do, but revising something like rivers, it just makes you want to kill yourself. Like, it just does. But I don't think it'll be as bad as far as A-level is concerned revision, because then you only do 3 or 4 subjects. Generally, most people do 3 because you don't need to do 4, so doing 4 is just pointless. But generally, if you're doing 3 subjects, then you're doing 3 subjects that you actually generally like and you'll want to spend time learning about. So, like, I'm going to be doing history A-level. I love history. I learn about history in my own time because I like to read about it on Wikipedia. I like learning about all the battles that occurred, crap like that. I like learning pointless facts, or not pointless, but I like learning crap that most other people would see as boring, but I see as interesting, and it actually has an application in history. So yeah, I think I'm going to do fine there. I think that the one subject that I'm going to mega fuck up is Spanish, because not only did I not... Alright, so if I give you an idea, in both of my writing exams, you get 60% of the GCSE is coursework based and 40% is exam based. So on 2 of my written exams, which are 30% total, so 15 each. So 30% of my exam total, I got, I think it was a B and an A, so it came out as like a B plus average. So it's essentially like a very low A or a high B. But for my speaking exams, I cannot fucking do speaking exams. I am a nervous fucking wreck when it comes to speaking exams, because I go in and I stop. It's like it's feeding on me in my mind. It's like, you're gonna fail. You haven't learnt it well enough. And then I just get stuck, and I couldn't. It was a fucking disgrace how bad my speaking exam was. So to give you an idea, I was on like a B plus, A minus, that sort of range. I was in like a low A range, and after my speaking exams I was brought down to a C overall grade. So basically, I would have got my 60% of my Spanish GCSE so far was a C. And then we had the reading and writing exams. Reading and listening exams. They're both 20% each. Reading, I got a fucking migraine in the exam. And also during the listening exam, I was positioned in the back corner, so I could hardly fucking hear. And also one of the things about when I get migraines is I have some like audio disturbances. Like I can't really pick up sounds very well because I have chronic migraines. So it's not uncommon for me to get migraines. It's not like I'm just bullshitting for the fun of it. I legitimately do get a lot of migraines. So I couldn't fucking hear properly. And I was in the back corner, which made everything 100 times worse, because not only could I not hear properly, but it was very quiet what I could hear. And I asked the invigilator if I could move forward, and she was just like, no, this is your assigned seat, just fucking deal with it, essentially. I mean, of course, she didn't say just fucking deal with it, because that would be a bit dark and a bit weird. But yeah, I got fucked over there, because I essentially just got told to fuck off and deal with it, so I probably got like a fucking U on the speaking exam, because I think you have to get like a 40% to even get a grade. I can't remember how I was feeling after the exam, because of course it was months ago, but I think that I probably fucked the speaking. But then again, from what I heard, everybody thought the speaking was super hard, so maybe I got like a C in the speaking or a D in the speaking, which would pull me down to a low C. And then in the reading exam, I think I probably got a U in the reading exam. Like, I don't see a way that I could have feasibly got any grade that you'd be proud of, at least, because of course I had a migraine, so I had the audio and visual disturbances. I had a really bad pulsating headache, because that's what I get. It was just a fucking mess. Like, I'm legitimately convinced, like, everybody's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get a U in science or some shit like that, because they like to really over-exaggerate for attention. I legitimately don't see a way I could have got above a D in Spanish. Like, if I get like a C tomorrow or a B tomorrow, I will fucking, I don't even know, I will stab myself in the ass with a knife. Like, I don't know. There's no fucking way. Like, I can do anything. There's no way I got a good grade in Spanish. And Spanish is by far going to be my worst grade. And I've literally been Googling. Apparently, you can forget, I say forget with air quotes, of course you can't see the air quotes, that you did a GCSE. According to some people, like, you might just not write down that you did that many. Like, you just pretend that, I think I did like 9 or something. What did I do? I said 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I did 9 total. I could just, maybe forget and pretend I did 8. Who knows? Who knows? That's the real question. Oh my god. I know that you shouldn't do that, but at the same time, I think it would look better if I had 8 GCSEs, which were like A star, 8 grade, 8 grade, 8 grade, A, B, than just being like, just throwing a random D or U in there. Like, that just makes it, I feel like that would make any university or any like employee look at me and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? How did you fuck up this badly? Like, you're obviously not a complete and utter idiot. You managed to get all of these grades with relatively no revision, which of course is not something to be fucking proud of, but I don't know. I mean, I just need to pretend that I never did it, because like I said, they're just gonna look at me like, are you a fucking, like, well, what's wrong with you? I mean, I'm just not fucking set up to learn languages. I have, I hate making all these fucking excuses, but at the same time, there are some legitimate reasons why learning languages for me is significantly harder, especially in a 2-year period where your teacher's fucking shit. So I had a bad teacher, I had fucking migraine, and yeah, I had a migraine in the exam. During the speaking listenings, I couldn't fucking do it because anxiety got the fucking better of me. So I just nearly fucking fainted during both of the exams, because it was the most uncomfortable experience of my entire fucking life. And then, yeah, it's basically, there's no way that I could have done well. And also I have like B12 deficiency, which means that my memory isn't as good. I struggle to learn things as quickly. And at the same time, I wasn't getting B12 injections anymore, because they tested me and they said my levels were too high. Not that that's fucking bad, because it's a water-soluble vitamin. It's not like I'm going to fucking OD on B12. But my levels were too high, which, funnily enough, they would be, because I self-inject. They don't know that I do that, because they would have some kind of fucking hissy fit. But I self-inject B12, and thus I had high levels when they did a blood test on me, and then they were like, oh, well, guess no more B12 for you, and then I had to stop having it for a while, and then it just... God, I struggle to remember things. Like, I remember trying to learn my Spanish speaking listenings, and I did learn them to the best of my ability, but it was so much easier for everybody else. I'd ask everybody else, like, how long did it take you to learn your speaking listening? And it'd be like, maybe like 15, 20 minutes a line. it took me 6 hours to learn a paragraph, like to just be able to recall a paragraph. And I'm not fucking bad at learning things. It's like I'm capable of learning quotes. I learned fucking 15 English quotes for Frankenstein the morning of the exam. I'm just not capable of doing it if it's in another language. If it's in another language that I don't fucking know fluently, then I'm just not capable of learning paragraphs of it. So it took me 6 hours to learn a single paragraph well enough to the point where I could recite it with only the keywords. These people weren't even using keywords. They just learned sentences. It took them like an hour and a half to learn a paragraph without even needing keywords. If I didn't have my keywords, I would have been really fucked. I wouldn't have even been able to like do the first. I would have been like, hola, me llamo Zachary. And then it would have just been like, okay, well now we're just going to sit here awkwardly and I'm going to hum for 6 minutes. Just being like, just that would have been my entire exam. But yeah, no, according to my Spanish teacher, she marks them kind of harshly because she doesn't want you to get, she basically wants you to know like this is the bare minimum you're going to get. So you could potentially do better, but you're not going to do any worse. So I might squeeze maybe like a B- overall, which is still essentially like a C+, but I might just about scrape a low B, at which point I might be able to come out of a C if I go like full bullshit. I mean, I can say all of this shit, but basically it entirely depends on how the rest of the country is done. Because this is the thing that annoys me when people talk about this, is they're like, oh, I think I did terribly. And it's like, well, everybody in the room thinks they did terribly. So if everybody in the room thinks they've done terribly and everybody in the room actually has done terribly, you're fine. Because if everybody's done terribly and you've just done slightly better than everybody else who's done terribly, then you'll be good. I think as far as other exams that I might have fucked up, I think I might have fucked up B1 because we did Excel spec and it was asking about, I just don't fucking read questions apparently, right? So there was one of the questions where it was asking you to point something out on a chart, I think it was. I didn't read it. I didn't put any cross or anything because I didn't fucking read the question because I'm some kind of mega spastic. So I didn't get a mark there. That was only one mark though on a 60 mark paper, so I can live with that. So that's only 59. But then there was one point where it's talking about natural selection, which I'm fine with natural selection. It's talking about like evolution and crap like that, and it's like, how does geographic isolation support Darwin's theory of evolution? And that's well and good. That's a very simple question to answer, but I didn't answer that question because I read something along the lines of like, describe Darwin's theory of evolution. And it's like, for fuck's sakes, why can I not just take my time and read it more slowly? Also, I had access to, I didn't have, I mean, I used the laptop for my exams because my handwriting is fucking atrocious. It looks like, I don't even know how you would describe my handwriting. Basically, I have an essential tremor, which means that my hands naturally shake. It basically means that my hands are just vibrators. That's the only way that I can really describe it to you, which I know is a great way to describe it and totally isn't a horrible, disgusting thought to have in your mind. But basically, my hands just vibrate continuously. And that makes it, of course, fairly difficult to, write shit because your hands are vibrating. So it's like, oh, well, you just fucking look like you scribbled all over the page, you goddamn idiot. I don't know. I'm going to find out how I've done tomorrow. It's currently 5, sorry, as I record this, 5 p.m. on the 23rd of August. I will probably know in about, how long would it be? About 12, 16, about 18 hours, I'd say, at the latest is when I will know what my GCSEs, how I did in my GCSEs. I really hope that I don't get a bunch of shit for Spanish. Because I know that it's been expected that I will do rather well in Spanish, but to be perfectly honest with you, next year I would do even worse because I fucked up the exams because I wasn't fucking capable of doing them. But next year, I don't think there's any coursework. Next year, if I recall correctly, it's 100% exam-based. I would get a U in that. Like, I'm talking about maybe getting a C or a D tomorrow. Maybe an E. I don't know. But I'm talking about actually getting a grade. If you made me do a written exam where it was just 100% dependent on what I do in the exam hall, I would get a U. I wouldn't even, it would be ungradable because I would just not be able to do it. But I don't know. I'm really fucking pissed off because I know that it's going to fuck up and I know that I'm going to get shit for it because my mom's going to be like, oh, why didn't you do better in Spanish? And it's like, I can't fucking describe how hard I found that subject because I'm just not fucking mentally capable of doing it. So Hopefully doing well in other subjects will make up for it. I'm pissed about geography because I'm going to get a B in geography, partially at the fault of my teacher and partially at the fact that I missed so much for a variety of reasons. It's just kind of fucking annoying because geography should be one of those subjects that, not necessarily a walk in the park, but it should have been like an easy A subject, and I'm probably going to get a B in it just because I'm a fucking idiot. But again, history, as long as I'm not fucking drastically over-exaggerating, and as long as everybody else isn't just nailed the exam and got 100%, I should get an A star. History's always been easy for me. Like, I remember when I was in my old school, we did an exam and I went to go and see my teacher to ask for my grade, and he said, "What do you think you got?" And of course you can't be like, "Oh, well, I must have got like, 80% on the exam." You got to be like, I don't know, 60 maybe, 70 maybe. And he's like, "You got 94%. 94% of the marks you got. You could have got. You got. And I wanted to give you 97. No, actually, he wanted to give me 100. But then he got marked down to 97. And then they disputed it a little bit more, and then I got put down to 94. He wanted to give me every single fucking mark you could in that paper. Do you want to know why? Because I know stuff that's not even on the fucking spec. Because that was the point, is that, like, it was about wartime UK and the war, World War II. And it was also about, like, just generally about World War II. It was about, like, I don't know, like, fucking the Japanese involvement in the war, crap like that. And everybody else was just writing about shit that was on the spec. But the thing is that about me is that I'm so sad that I learned about shit that's not on the spec. Like, they didn't learn about the rape of Nanking. They didn't learn about so much fucking shit that wasn't on the spec. They didn't know that the Chinese were raping and murdering villagers. They knew that the Chinese were pretty shitty to the Japanese. Oh, sorry, no, Chinese. the fucking Chinese, those rapists. No, sorry. They knew that they didn't know that the Japanese were raping and murdering the Chinese and killing children and shit like that. They just thought that they were being treated fairly poorly and put in work camps. It's like, no, the fucking Japanese were shitty. There was that whole, what was it? Like, I need to search it now. Japanese prisoner of war camp where they would, like, fucking expose people to hypothermia just to see what happened, and they'd give people STDs, shit like that. Of war research. And then the funny thing about that is that all the scientists who worked there got immunity because they gave all their research to the US. I need to find it. Unit 731, that's what it was. But a huge amount of the scientists got immunity because they were like, well, we'll give you the research and we'll just pretend that you never did any of this shit. Yeah, the Americans did not try the researchers for some of the information and experience gained in bioweapons could be co-opted in the US biological. They basically just were like, you killed a few people. We'd have done it, but we can't because people will get upset. So instead, you give us your research that you could do because nobody cared because you were just killing Chinese people. And apparently then we don't value the lives of Chinese people, this being the American general speaking, not me. And, we'll give you immunity. We won't try you. You can just go home to your wives, maybe do some more fucked up shit, or you can get a citizenship. Come over here, do some research over here. You're clearly quite good scientists. You managed to find out all this shit. You really did repeat your experiments a fair few times, it would appear. Multiple dozens of times, actually. So yeah, just take your citizenship, come over to the US, get to work. We just discovered what atomic bombs were. We've just made some nuclear weapons. You come over to us, we're going to get you, you're going to help us in the space race. That was a thing a lot of Nazi scientists, wasn't it, is that they got them to come over and help them in the space race. They were, like, fundamental in the space race, which is fucking hilarious to think that. That's what's kind of funny to me. In fact, I'm not going to go down that diatribe. But basically, yeah, Japanese, very shitty during the war. Most people in my exam didn't know that shit. I did, so that's what I always recommend to people. When people ever ask me for suggestions when revising, like any of my friends ask me for suggestions for revising, I'd be like, make sure that you know all the stuff on the spec to a decent level. But my top suggestion always is also to learn some stuff that isn't on the spec. that could still be like applicable. I mean, not that it isn't on the spec, but like extra information, like shit like history, like learn about events that you weren't taught, because you can still get marks for them because they still relate to the question and they're still answering the question. It just means that you might impress the examiner a bit more, and the examiner might be like, well, shit, this guy knows his fucking stuff. Oh, that's the thing as well. I didn't actually... my Spanish should be okay because the people who are marking my Spanish aren't examiners, but the people who mark my... all of my... no, it's not maths because I wrote maths as well, but the people who mark my English, my science, my geography, and my history, because they were all done on computers, they get marked by chief examiners. So fuck me, am I right? But anyway... yeah, I think that I'm going to stop nattering now. Stop fucking chatting away. Because I could just do this all fucking weekend because I'm in a very talkative mood. What do I mean all weekend? I could do this all weekend, he says on a Wednesday. I upgraded my PC, actually, which was pretty fucking nice. I got 2 new fans. There's some weird, I think they're called like Asian Tech or something. Or Asian Line or something. It's some Asian brand. So they're fairly cheap. It was £10 for 2 red LED fans. They have some. It's kind of cool how they've done the lighting now. They've got like some red. It's kind of like a night stick, whatever the hell, like those sticks that you snap and they glow. Glow sticks, yeah. It's kind of like that sort of liquid, but then it's got the LEDs in it as well. So it looks really fucking nice, and it's kind of equaled out lighting. So it's not like it's harsh lighting. Instead, it's actually fairly balanced throughout the entire thing. I really fucking like it, to be honest. So yeah, and it should hopefully keep my PC a bit cooler, which has been an issue of contention because my PC gets to be about 50 degrees where the motherboard is, and then that means that it heats up the entire room fairly quickly. So my entire goal is to try to keep it as cool as possible. And then, you know, the more air circulation there is in there, the faster the air gets out of the case. The faster the air gets out of the case, the faster it can be dispersed. And hopefully it'll just mean that generally the room is a little bit cooler. Because that's my entire goal. Because yesterday, I think it must have been about 22, 23 degrees outside. In my room, it must have peaked at fucking 30. Because it's really humid in my room already because I have 2 fish tanks. One's fairly small, one's only about 24, 25 litres, but the other one's about 200 litres in the corner of my room. So I've got a huge amount of evaporation. So my room immediately, when the door and windows are closed, is very humid. And then also, the temperature peaks, it probably peaked at around 30 degrees with a humidity of, it was already about 70% outside. So my room must have been about 80, 85%. So imagine a room that's almost around 30 degrees and has got a humidity of about 85%. I was sweating just sitting down. Like just existing was enough to have beads of sweat dripping off my face. It was so uncomfortable. And so now I'm legitimately looking at like AC units and crap because that's legitimately a thing. It's already August, so I'm already looking at Christmas shit because I realized that it's like this year's gone so fucking quickly. It feels like just yesterday it was my birthday, and for those of you who don't know, my birthday is in January. It's actually the very beginning of January. So this year has gone incredibly fucking quickly. So before I know it, it's going to be like November, which is when people start buying Christmas gifts for me. So I need to come up with some form of list. I need to be prepared. And so I'm looking at dehumidifiers, window unit, AC conditioners, shit like this, because this is the level I've progressed to. Because other than the monitor, there's literally nothing else that anybody could buy me that I would want. A monitor and a GPU are the only 2 things that I want, and I'm probably going to buy myself a monitor by the time it's Christmas, which means that realistically all I want is a GPU and money. So I'm like, well, maybe I could get an AC unit, maybe I could get a laptop, because my gran was supposed to buy me a laptop for 6th form, but she didn't. She bought my sister one, but she didn't buy me one. I feel like there's a whole bunch of favoritism, and that shit upsets me. If you're going to have a favorite grandchild, don't make it fucking obvious to the rest of them. Because it makes the rest of them feel like shit. Like, my sister got a desk. I didn't get a desk. Like, I mean, I had a desk already, but it was a shit quality IKEA desk. My sister got a laptop that cost about 350 quid. I didn't get shit because I already had a desktop computer, which really isn't the same because, you know, I can't take my desktop computer to school with me. I can't go and sit in the living room or take it out with friends or go to friends to do group revision sessions. I can't really do shit with it, actually, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm gonna just, you know, call it a session. because I've nearly been recording for half an hour. I'm going to try and break the half an hour mark. So basically, yeah, just don't fucking show your grandchildren that you prefer one of the others. I don't fucking know. I don't know anymore. I'm preparing for my eventual doom tomorrow. And I'm hoping it doesn't go as poorly as I'm expecting it will for Spanish. But at the same time, if I'm a realist, because I like to be a realist, I fully expect it to go poorly. But hey, what are you going to do? It's too late now. And to be perfectly honest with you, as long as I think you need to get 5 GCSEs, A to C grade. I'm going to have 5, probably top tier grade, to get into my university course. So as long as I nail my A-levels as well and get like AAA or A-star AA or A-star AB or something like that, as long as I get like top tier grades for A-levels, it shouldn't be an issue. I just really need to make sure I pull my socks up for A-levels. To be perfectly honest with you, I think I'm actually going to try and start revising my A-levels almost immediately. Because I know that people say that there's no point in revising 2 years before the exam. I mean, it's not quite 2 years. It's probably about 1.5 years until I do my A-levels now, or 1 year and 8 months or something like that. But I know people say there's no point in revising for the exam before you even, before the exam's even fucking in sight. But at the same time, if I immediately go in and start consolidating everything that I learn and making revision notes and just generally doing everything that I can to make it so that when I get into the actual exams, I have as little work to do as possible, or so that I can just really nail down and just do past papers, because that's where you learn most of your shit. You don't learn most of the shit from, because you're not everything is going to be on the paper. You learn most of your shit from actually doing legitimate questions. And also, if you do every single past paper that you can get your hands on for your subjects, then likelihood is you're going to notice a lot of the questions coming up that are either similar or just slightly reworded. So like a good chunk of the paper, it's like you cheated, and it's like you cheated, because you're like, well, shit, I basically did this question last night. I know how to do all the working out. I know the working outs do to show the marks. The only difference is that there's 3 different numbers in here, and the diagram's drawn slightly differently, but it's still applying all of the same stuff that I did last night, and it's good to do. So I just really need to pull my shit up, because I reckon that I could probably nail my A-levels, because I've probably done pretty fucking damn well in my GCSEs. Again, I'm not fucking touch wood. But pretty fucking damn well in my GCSEs. And I did almost no revision, which is probably why I failed Spanish. But, I mean, I didn't do almost no revision for Spanish. I legitimately did fucking try in Spanish, because I'm perhaps a bit of a procrastinator, but I'm not a fucking idiot. I do understand that I'm not going to just fucking know like a fucking 6-minute Spanish essay by just reading it once. Like, I do recognize my own limits. So I did actually try that. I just couldn't fucking do it because of anxiety and shit like that. But anyway, I have been your host, Zach. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Depressing World podcast, which will hopefully be coming out next Saturday. This will probably be actually, no, it won't be next Saturday, it'll be the Saturday after. So not this Saturday coming up, which will come up on wait, let me check. So not this Saturday coming up, which will be the 26th. Instead, it will be the 2nd of September, which will hopefully be the next episode, because I'm not going to do another one with such a small gap between it. This will probably count as one of the videos this week. I do apologize for that, but I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. I hope you've had a wonderful August, a wonderful July, and just a wonderful year so far. I certainly have, excluding probably tomorrow, but I'm pretty fucking happy. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode or in the next video. Go and check out my other channel, Adrenaline Tech. It's where I make all my techie videos. I'm going to try and make some more videos on that at some point in the future. I probably should have made one on the fans, but to be honest with you, I just want to make videos that I want to make. And to be honest with you, I don't have the equipment I want to make those videos. So I'm kind of stuck at the moment. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.